Hi, if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Donna at Face Paints For You, and today I have this stunning but fast and simple one-stroke Batman face painting design. So if you'd like to learn how to do this design, please keep watching. I start off by loading a petal sponge with a rainbow cake called Leanne's Pretty Mermaid, and it's from the new Fusion palette, Leanne's Happy Pixie Petal palette. I actually reviewed it in my last video, and if you'd like to check that video out, I'll leave the link in the description down below. By the way, I actually chose this rainbow cake as I do think it can be used for girls or boys. And by placing the sponge in the middle of the forehead and going back and forth in a circular motion from one eyebrow to the other, and it'll look a bit like half a circle. Then I grab my 3/4 inch angle brush and I load it with a one stroke that you can see on the screen. It's from a Sally & Lynch palette, but any colour similar to that will be absolutely fine. And as you can see, I try to figure out where the centre is and where I want Batman's head to be. And as soon as I know where it's going to go, I lightly put my brush down twice about an inch apart, and that's where the ears are going to be. And then for the top of Batman's head, I connect those two lines with an upside down U shape. Then to finish off the shape of the ears, all I do is go to one side and pulled it slightly out and down at a slight angle. Then pulled the tip of my brush straight down to outline it. And I did exactly the same on the opposite side. Then at the bottom of the head on both sides, you pull a curved line going all the way round. And as you can see, as I'm doing this, I turn my brush to end on the tip of my brush. And if you imagine there's an invisible line going up from the ears, that's approximately where you would stop. Then if you go back to the end of those two last brush strokes that we just did, and from there, you're going to put your brush down exactly how you ended that brush stroke. And you're going to do a bit like a rainbow, going all the way around whilst turning your brush and ending on the tip again. And you do exactly the same on the opposite side. Just try to make it as symmetrical as you can. And it's completely up to you how far down you want to pull it, but I wouldn't go past the nose. Now, I wasn't too happy with my brush strokes, so I'm just going to go over them very quickly and I'll speed up the video slightly. Okay, and now we're going to go at the bottom of that last brush stroke and pull it up the same way as you pulled it down, but just the opposite way, and pull it up to the eyebrow. And you do exactly the same on the opposite side. Normally, I wouldn't just stop there, I would go all the way across the eyebrow and straight down the nose. So for the purpose of the video, I am going to show you how I would advise a beginner to do it. So next, as you can see, you would try to figure out where the middle of the nose is and where you want the bottom of the body to be. And by lightly putting my brush down, we'll be doing those lines again. But this time we're going to do it into a V shape and then connect the two lines to fill it in. And as you can see, it looks a bit like a cone or a petal shape. And then with the lighter side of my brush, I start to fill in all the empty spaces. And I also start to fill in the middle of the body. And now I start to connect the bottom of the body to the wings. And all I do is continue that line from the V shape all the way up to the beginning of the eyebrow. And of course I do exactly the same on the opposite side. And you can either do it like I did it on the other side, or like this side by pulling the line down instead of up. Then I start to connect that line and pull it all the way across over the eyebrow and down to the other line. And I do exactly the same on the opposite side. I do know it can be a little bit difficult to go over eyebrows, but just go over it a few times and it'll be absolutely fine. And now I'm just quickly making sure that all the ends are nice and pointy and that everything is as symmetrical as possible. Okay, and now really quickly I'm going to mist some glitter all over the design, but it's perfect because only the paint on the Batman symbol is wet, so that's where the glitter's going to stick. Okay, and now I load my round brush number 4 with white diamond effects. And you do want your white paint quite thick, as you are going to be going over a quite dark grey. Now this is completely optional, but I start to do Batman's eyes, and I do them a bit like long filled in triangles. And then for his mouth, I do a curved small reverse teardrop. And now whilst I wait for the eyes and mouth to dry, I grab a dotted stencil that goes from smaller dots to larger dots, but any similar stencil will be absolutely fine. And I load a sponge with white diamond effects, and I start to put a few dots around the design. And by the way, if you don't have this type of stencil, you could always do a few cluster of dots around the design instead. But I would recommend to buy a stencil like this, as you can use it on many different designs. I actually believe that extra finishing touches like that can actually really enhance a design. As this is a fast one-stroke Batman design done with a black edge, you won't need to outline it. So all I'm going to outline is around the eyes and around the mouth, just to make them stand out a bit more. Then I also give him a few angry teeth, and I just do that by doing a few curved lines coming down and then one going across. Now, it's not really necessary, but depending on how much time you have to do this design, but I did grab my round brush number 6 with white diamond effects again, and I started to add a few highlights, and I did it on both sides, a little one on top of the head and on the side at the bottom of the body. Plus I also added some starburst. Now I'm really not sure how this happened, but I did lose a bit of footage as I did do one stroke lips, and I also added a few extra dots on the nose, as you can see with the stencil. But if I'm not mistaken, I grabbed my 1/2 inch angle brush and I loaded it with the green and blue from the rainbow cake that we used initially, and then I just gave it a black outline. And I just wanted to say a massive thank you to anyone who's made it this far. And if you want to really help me out to make more content, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of all future videos. Also, why not share this video on your social media or with your face painting friends? And if you do recreate any of my designs, please don't forget to tag me, as I'd love to see them.